Hi, I'm Bill Hitchcock, and today what I'm going to be setting up is a homework assignment where we create a survey and then take that survey data and import that into Microsoft Excel and do some analysis and build some charts and do that sort of work. So anyways, what I would suggest doing to create some surveys is just go out to Google, search for Google Forms, and you can read up all you want about Google Forms and so on. Here's the free online surveys for personal use. That's what we're going to be doing. So before you do this, you're going to have to create a Google account, which isn't too hard to do. Just set one up with your first and last name. Hopefully, you might have to add a number to it or something like that. So I'm going to go to Google Forms, and I've already done this. So I've got a number of forms already set up. I'm going to create a new one here, so I'll click on blank. I can type in my form, so we'll try CIT 110, homework 03 survey example. And this just shows you how to create a simple survey. And then you can go on to the questions. You can choose what type you want to do. I would suggest for the most part doing multiple choice because the data that you get and when you download that, it'll be a little bit easier to use. In some cases, you might want to have um, a short answer or something like that, but when you get into that, realize you're probably going to have to do a bit more data cleansing. You can get richer data, but again, it's just kind of cleaning this up. So for our saver, we're going to be playing what we call the this or that game. In other words, do you like this or do you like that? Do you like dogs? Do you like cats? So we'll say, for our untitled question, we'll say um, Q1, do you like? And for option 1, we'll say cats. Option 2, dogs. And how about if we change this instead of do you like, maybe they like both of them, so we'll say which do you prefer? Something like that. In this case, I would not do anything where you're adding other choices. We just want to keep this, they got to choose one or the other, that's it. Add another question. We'll put in question 2. Pick one. Mounds. And I'll add an option, almond joy. So Mounds doesn't have nuts, almond joy has nuts, Mounds doesn't. You could do something like that. Whatever you want to come up with questions. And then finally, towards the end, what we're going to want to do is add in some demographic data. So here's demographic number 1. We'll say it's their class. And for the classes, we'll put in first year, add another one, sophomore, add a third, junior, add a fourth, senior, and then finally, always include, for some of these, we want to add an other. And when Google Forms creates that, it will allow them to specify what it is that they want to have for the other. And that way somebody can either say none of these, or I'm a graduate student, postgraduate, whatever we want to do with it. So there's my survey. And if again, up here it's just given me the untitled form for when I first set this up. I'm going to click on send, and I can put in an email. So you might want to send it to your Loris email just to test everything out. So I've got that in there. And that looks good. So we'll try hitting, oh, hang on. Let me give this a try one more time. I've got that put in there. Oh, and down at the bottom here's send. So I'll hit send, and that will go out to me. I'll get the form, and we can try this out. So let me go back to some of my other forms. So I'll just go back. I can search the Google Forms to go back in here. I want to go to Google Forms. And let's see, we had one where we had some quiz one, some information about you. So I'm going to try to open up that particular form, and I can see the responses. And so far I've got 205 responses. Some of these are from older courses and all of that. And once I've got these responses, Google already does some of the processing for us. It tells me what year are we taking this? That was a fairly new question. We only had 88 responses, but out of the 205 or so responses here for the course, you can see some of the different courses where I've administered this presentation before. It gives us at least some basic information that we can use, and we might want to clean up some of these reports. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next step. So go ahead, create a survey, test it out. Once it seems like all the questions are going to be set up correctly, you want to send that out to, say 30 different people, try to collect some data. But before we do it, again, test, 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 make sure everything's working right before you send it out to everybody.